Okay, so let's dive into this. We looked at some great material you sent over about this huge phenomenon in China. You know, that super catchy song from the drink stand, Mixue Bingcheng,
Yeah.
approximation of humming the tune briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, it just like completely took over. People even called it a brainwashing divine song.
Yeah.
And yeah, you might think, oh, okay, just another viral internet thing. But looking at the sources, well, it's clear this was really, really planned out.
Yeah.
Anything but random. So yeah, our mission here in this deep dive is to unpack the strategy behind it. How this like super low-cost brand pulled off such a massive, massive digital win and tied it to actual results.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because you see this brand, Mixue Bingcheng, known for being incredibly cheap, and then you see this really sophisticated strategy. They started way back, 1997, in Zhengzhou, and they're just enormous now. The sources said, what, over 15,000 stores across basically all of China, and the prices are just rock bottom, like 3 yuan for soft serve, 4 for lemonade. That's like pennies. Yeah, incredibly low. One source called them the Pinduoduo of the drink world, which really paints a picture, doesn't it? That ultra low cost model.
Definitely gives you that frame of reference. And their main audience is younger people, like high school kids, especially in regional cities.
That's right. They're really strong outside the biggest megacities. And a really key moment, according to the analysis, was back in 2018. They launched this 2 yuan soft serve. It went up to 3 yuan later, but yeah.
2 yuan? I mean, could they even make money on that, or was that the point?
Well, the analysis we looked at says it was explicitly a loss leader, like 100%. The goal wasn't profit on the cone itself. It was purely about driving traffic, getting feet through the door.
Okay. Just get them in the store.
Yeah.
And the sources mentioned this interesting behavioral economics thing connected to that with the lines.
Yes, exactly. Because it was so cheap, you often got queues forming outside. And the point made was, once you've, invested your time standing in that line, that's a cost, right? Your time. So when you finally get inside, you're kind of psychologically primed to buy more than just the cheap soft serve. You want to make that wait feel worthwhile.
Right. You've already sunk the cost of waiting, so you might as well grab a lemonade too, whatever.
Absence.
Okay, so low prices, clever traffic driver, but they also have that character, Snow King, the snowman. Where did he come from? What was the idea there?
Snow King came directly from Huayua, the consultancy firm we'll talk more about. They have this concept they call a super symbol. And the idea wasn't necessarily snowman equals ice cream. It was more about finding a symbol that evokes the feeling you want associated with the brand.
Coolness, friendliness, that kind of thing.
Exactly. For cold drinks, ice cream, especially when it's hot out, a snowman just kind of works. It feels cool, approachable, maybe a bit fun.
And visually, he's super simple. Just 2 white balls, basically.
Yeah.
You'd spot that a mile off.
Right, high visibility. And they put them everywhere. Logos, signs, staff outfits, and of course in all the online stuff. But, and this is key, they were apparently quite deliberate about letting people play with the character online. User-generated content, secondary creations.
So they didn't clamp down on memes and fan art.
Pretty much, yeah, as long as it wasn't negative. This tolerance really helped Snow King spread organically online, almost like a public domain character in some ways. Became a meme icon.
Okay, so we've got the price, the traffic, the symbol, but the song. That viral earworm. You mentioned the consultancy, Huayua. They orchestrated the whole campaign.
Yes, Huayua, based in Shanghai. The sources credit them with the whole strategy design. And there are known players they worked with, Haidilao too, the hot pot giant.
Ah, okay. And there was some speculation in the material that maybe their big investor, Hill House Capital, brought Huayua in.
That's the theory, yeah. Hill House is known for being more than just money. They get involved operationally, strategically, and given Hill House's connections, investments in Tencent, Bilibili, JD, bringing in digital strategy experts like Huayua fits their playbook.
Gotcha. So this wasn't just like making an ad and putting it everywhere. The sources called it something different. Cross-channel.
Exactly. Cross-channel, not just multi-channel. Big difference. It wasn't about broadcasting the same thing. It was about understanding how different platforms influence each other. They actually mapped out what the source calls a diffusion journey, like a planned route for how the campaign would spread platform by platform to ultimately get people into the stores.
Wow, okay. So they needed deep knowledge of each platform. What were the main ones they used, according to the analysis?
Right, so first, Bilibili. Video sharing, huge with young people, big into ACGN animation, comics, games, novels. And critically, Bilibili has this massive culture of secondary creation. Users love remixing stuff. But the source notes, they're also pretty sharp. They don't like stuff that feels fake or overly corporate.
Okay, Bilibili for the creative youth. Then the short video giants.
Douyin and Kuaishou. Douyin, maybe a bit more urban, polished. Kuaishou, stronger regionally, more about like everyday fun, real life. And both are just algorithm machines, right? Content can explode overnight if the AI picks it up.
And then the social networks?
Weibo and WeChat. Weibo is the public square, kind of like Twitter. Media, celebs, public chat. WeChat is more private, like Line or WhatsApp, your actual friends, family, work groups. Understanding those nuances, public versus private, creative versus algorithmic, urban versus regional, was apparently fundamental to the whole plan.
Okay, let's trace that diffusion journey map, step by step. Where did they actually kick things off?
Step 1. Launch the official music video on Bilibili.
Right. And starting there wasn't random, was it? It was specifically because of that secondary creation thing.
Absolutely. The whole point of starting on Bilibili was to encourage users to make their own versions. The official video itself was designed for it. Think about it. Simple tune, basically, Susanna, simple lyrics, the Snow King character, an easy dance. All elements you see in other global viral hits, like Gangnam Style or Pay, things that are easy to copy and mess around with.
Makes sense. Deliberately making it remixable. And did people take the bait?
Oh, yeah. Big time. Users started making their own animations, singing covers, doing cosplays, translating it. Bilibili became a playground for the song, and then it got a massive boost when bigger accounts started joining in.
Like Chungking University adapting it for exams, the source mentioned that? Or that famous reporter, Wang Bingbing.
Exactly those. When a major university or a huge mainstream figure like Wang Bingbing jumps on the trend, it gives it legitimacy and pushes it way beyond the initial niche audience. That helped it spread like wildfire within Bilibili and also start leaking out into the wider internet consciousness.
Okay, so Bilibili got the creative snowball rolling. Step 2 was pushing it outwards.
Yeah.
How'd they do that?
That's where Weibo and WeChat really came into play. As all these cool, funny secondary creations popped up on Bilibili, influencers and media accounts started spotting them and sharing links on Weibo. That took it from the Bilibili community to the sort of general public feed.
And I guess the song's sheer simplicity and repetitiveness made it really grab people at that stage. Like, that's when it became the brainwashing song for everyone, including families, kids.
Precisely. That catchiness was engineered for mass appeal. And then WeChat acted as the amplifier for peer-to-peer sharing. You'd see a funny version on Weibo, then you'd send the link directly to your friends or family in a WeChat group. That private sharing was crucial.
Okay, buzz generated, awareness spread.
Yeah.
But how did they link all that online chatter back to the actual stores? To sales?
Step 3. Shifting the focus hard onto Douyin and Kuaishou. But not just the main brand channels, specifically using the accounts run by individual stores. This was the critical move to translate that online hype into offline action. Foot traffic.
So, like, videos from the actual local Mixue Bingcheng shop, not polished brand ads.
Yeah, mostly. Often it was just the store staff right there in the shop doing the simple dance moves to the song. Very lo-fi, very real.
And some of those blew up, right?
Yeah.
I remember reading about a staff member in Xi'an whose dance video got huge views.
Exactly. Those videos felt authentic, relatable, and crucially, on Douyin especially, they use geotagging. So you'd see this fun video from a store near you, you could tap the location tag, and boom, map directions right to that specific shop. Made it super easy to visit.
Clever. And they were strategic about which platform for which area.
Yes. Douyin for the more urban markets where it's popular, Kuaishou for the regional areas, aligning with where each platform has its user base and where Mixue has its stores. It was about targeted delivery.
Okay, and then there was one more layer, wasn't there? This kind of secret campaign.
Step 4, yeah. This was pretty clever. They launched a promotion, get a free soft serve if you sang the theme song inside the store.
Huh? Seriously. Sing for your supper.
Right.
Or soft serve.
Ah.
But why secret? How did people find out?
Well, that's the twist. It wasn't splashed all over the main Mixue Bingcheng official accounts. The news spread primarily through the Weibo and WeChat accounts of the local stores.
Ah, so you had to be following your local store's account to know about it easily.
Exactly. The thinking, according to the analysis, was likely twofold. One, drive follows to those local accounts, get people in the habit of checking them for deals, build that local connection. And 2, it created this little bit of social buzz and uncertainty. Is this real? Do I actually have to sing? What if I do and they don't know about it? That kind of thing.
Which encourages people to talk about it.
Yeah.
Ask their friends on WeChat, hey, did you hear about this? Are you going to try it?
Precisely. Peer verification. It spurred conversation and planning among friends. Let's go together and sing. It has echoes of those Heidelau secret code campaigns, you know. which makes sense given Huayua worked with both.
Right. So it boosted local store followers, which is great for future targeted promotions,
Mm.
and it got groups of friends actively planning a visit. Very smart. So this whole intricate, multi-stage, cross-platform dance,
Mm.
how did it actually perform? What were
Right.
the results?
Well, initially, huge success. The sources are clear. This carefully executed plan led directly to a massive spike in sales. Those lines outside the stores got even longer. It worked.
Sounds like everything went perfectly according to plan
Hmm.
until it didn't. There was a hiccup.
Yeah, unfortunately, a major setback. Reports surfaced about one store allegedly using expired ingredients that triggered wider health inspections, and understandably, the whole promotion, including the singing challenge, had to be put on pause pretty quickly.
Oof, that's rough timing, just as it's really hitting its stride. The author of One Piece seemed disappointed they couldn't see the next phase.
Exactly. It suggests this wasn't just meant to be a short-term viral boost. There was likely a longer-term plan, maybe focused on loyalty or repeat business, that got cut short. It really highlights the difference between the strategic approach aimed at sustained sales versus just, say, a one-off influencer campaign that gives you a temporary bump.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. If you had to boil it down, what's the main takeaway from this whole Mixie Bingcheng saga?
I think the biggest thing is that this viral success wasn't luck. It wasn't random. It was the direct outcome of a highly calculated, professionally designed, multi-stage digital strategy. Huayuhua, the consultancy, specifically built this to turn online buzz into real-world offline sales.
And the genius was in the details, right? Understanding each platform, Bilibili for creation, Weibo for awareness, Douyin Kuaishu for local traffic via store accounts, WeChat for peer sharing and local promotion, mapping that whole journey.
Absolutely. Starting with user generation, then amplifying it publicly, then directing it locally, and finally building that relationship with local store campaigns. It was a masterclass in execution.
And for you listening, understanding this is so valuable because it shows how you can think strategically about different digital platforms. It's not just about being on platforms, it's about using them in a coordinated way.
Tailoring the content, the timing, understanding the user behavior on each to drive specific goals, especially connecting online activity to offline results. Even if you use totally different platforms, those core principles apply.
Definitely. It really makes you think.
Yeah.
And maybe here's a final thought for you to mull over. When you can engineer virality this effectively, this strategically, to drive massive attention and sales so quickly, does that incredible power also demand an almost superhuman focus on the absolute basics? Things like operational excellence, hygiene, quality control.
Yeah.
Because as Sia found out, all that brilliant strategic momentum can be stopped dead in its tracks by one slip-up on the fundamentals. Something to consider.